And my boss said she sent it to me to wear during the first time. So no, I think Planned Parenthood Tennessee offers them. So as some of their events, I think they have the hats out for free. Or for sale, I'm sure. On their website.
Yeah, sure. Their out of office doors are unlocked, trucks and their lights are on.
Wow.
There's office, and so brings it up to all the way back and so he's not going to be there.
Because they're gonna lock the door.
All right.
How you doing, Mr. Harris?
All right.
Good to see you again.
All right. We have some students and parents and faith leaders who have come to try to meet with the speaker about a bill that we want prioritized in a special session.
He's not here today.
He's not here today.
We know he lives in Nashville. Can he come over to the Capitol?
Not my jurisdiction, unfortunately.
Is the chief of staff in?
Maybe.
Then we can sit in. We'll sit in. We'll sit until.
Oh, we'll hang out.
We'll sit until conference.
Come on, as many of us as can. This is the people's house. Chairs. I'm sorry. Any elders, you may sit in the chairs.
What is it about Chief Staff?
I guess he didn't report back.
He's the chief of staff.
I'm unaware he's not in there, but they're trying to contact him. So.
Everyone, come on in, everybody. Come on in.
Some can come back this way. Just come on around.
Some elders need to sit in the chairs. You can. Come on in, everybody. Come on in. We got room right over here.
Plenty of good
We
room.
can take over this office too.
Plenty of good room.
This is not his calendar, this is my calendar. I don't do his schedule. So I'm just basically reception. I don't handle that.
I feel so bad.
The scheduling, they're all that. Yeah, I don't do any of that. Unfortunately, as you know from last time, I don't handle that. That's actually not available to the public. No, ma'am. You can try. It's gonna be locked. Yes, ma'am.
Is he here today?
He's not.
Protect kids, not guns. 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 What do we want?
Gun control.
When do we want it? Now. What do we want?
Gun control.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Gun control.
When do we want it?
Now.
If we don't get it,
Shut it down.
if we don't get it,
Shut it down.
if we don't get it,
Shut it down.
We shall not be moved.
we shall not be moved, just like a tree that's planted by the waters. We shall not be moved.
We're fighting for our children.
Fighting for our children, we shall not be moved. We're fighting for our children, we shall not be moved. Just like a tree that's planted by the waters, we shall not be moved.
Until we end gun violence.
Till we end gun violence, we shall not be moved. Until we end gun violence, we shall not be moved. Just like a tree that's planted by the waters, we shall not be moved.
Tell Cameron Sexton.
We shall not be moved. Tell Cameron Sexton, we shall not be moved. Just like a tree that's planted by the water, we shall not be moved.
Until you hear our voices.
Until you hear our voices, we shall not be moved. Until you hear our voices, we shall not be moved. Just like a tree that's planted by the water, we shall not be moved.
Until our children are safe.
Our children are safe, we shall not be moved. Until our children are safe, we shall not be moved. Just like a tree that's planted by the water, we shall not be moved.
Until you lock the guns up.
We shall not be moved. Until you lock the guns up, we shall not be moved. Just like a tree that's planted by the waters, we shall not be moved.
We're black and white together.
Black and white together, we shall not be moved. Black and white together, we shall not be moved. Just like a tree that's planted by the water, we shall not be moved.
Until you hear us crying.
We shall not be moved. Until you hear us crying, we shall not be moved. Just like a tree that's planted by the water, we shall not be moved. Until you do your job, we shall not be moved. Until you do your job, we shall not be moved. Just like a tree that's planted by the water, we shall not be moved.
Until you hear our votes.
Until you hear our votes, we shall not be moved. Until you hear our votes, we shall not be moved. Just like a tree
that's planted by the water. We shall not be moved.
When our children stop dying.
We shall not be moved. Until our children stop dying, we shall not be moved. Just like a tree that's planted by the water, we shall not be moved.
Until you pass red flag laws,
We shall not be moved. Until you pass red flag laws, we shall not be moved. Just like a tree that's planted by the water, we shall not be moved.
Until the special session.
We shall not be moved. Until the special session, we shall not be moved. Just like a tree that's planted by the water, we shall not be moved.
Hand in hand together.
We shall not be moved. Hand in hand together, we shall not be moved. Just like a tree that's planted by the water, we shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. Just like a tree that's planted by the water, we shall not be moved.
Excuse me, I'm going that way. Excuse me.
He just walked in though.
What did he say when we asked if we could deliver the bill?
We're waiting on the speaker's chief of staff. Are you the chief of staff, Mr. Bobo? Are you the chief of staff? Can you get the chief of staff or the speaker?
What did he say?
He said we need to speak to Mr. Harris.
I tried.
Mr. Harris.
Chief of staff. okay?
Mr. Bobo talking, Mr. Harris?
He is, I asked, but I do apologize.
Okay, I guess we'll just have to stay here.
Yeah, we can stay till he gets back. Yeah, since he lives here, he should be
He lives in
around.
Be too far away.
Damn.
His
Somebody can order some pizza and have it delivered over here, and we'll be there for a while.
Why don't we just take a time to just ground in this moment in our history? As many people who can sit, if you're able to, because today is the 63rd anniversary of the Nashville Sit-ins victory here in Nashville.
Amen.
So we want to just lift up those elders, those ancestors who 63 years ago sat down as a way to stand up, sat down as a way to force action, sat down as a way to cause tension and disruption to the status quo. And so the speaker can come here. We as lawmakers can work any day that we want to be here. And he chose to not respond. Our brother here can call the chief of staff, can call the speaker and say that there are dozens of constituents out here who want to meet with him. But the speaker is choosing not to be here, choosing not to hear the people, which is why we have to keep showing up again and again and again, because what he wants us to not show up and to stop showing up and to let the issue die down and to let the tension die down. But we know that we have to create creative tension like Dr. King talked about. And so we're here in the speaker's office. The chief of staff is here. All of our staff are here. The building does not close till 4:30, and so if we can call him and get him to just accept the bill from the people that the people are pushing, called the Protect Kids Not Guns Act, because we want the special session to be focused. There is an ask. And so we hope that the speaker would choose to hear the voices of the people, but just wanted to say that we're in solidarity with you all. But let's just take a moment just to let the spirit of the ancestors just be with us in this space, if we can take a moment of silence.
Justin, I was in Parks, Bicentennial Park the other day, and engraved on marble side is the Tennessee Bill of Rights, the Citizens Bill of Rights. It kind of seems like nobody's reacting to that or even using that as a reason for all of this that we do. I mean, can you talk a little bit about this the Bill of Rights, 1746, I think it was, that talks about that all powers inherent in the people and all free governments are founded on their authority and instituted for their peace, safety, and happiness. For the advancement of those ends, they have at all times an inalienable and indefensible right to alter, reform, or abolish the government in such manner that they may think proper. The Declaration of Rights, Tennessee Constitution, 1796. Just found that to be really interesting.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that.
So yeah.
Anytime they tell us the power isn't with the people, they're directly going against our Bill of Rights. It's ours. This
Yeah,
is
if
our
82% of the people polled are for gun reform, it's obviously they're not representing people anymore. How do you change that?
Vote them out.
Vote them out.
And vote the right people. Do you know if Ryan's here?
Keep making our voices.
Meanwhile, on television.
Yeah.
He's like, I'll kill you as soon as we got to Ryan. Right.
Glorifying guns.
Yeah.
Warm bread and shot dead.
I enlisted 12 years ago in the service military, and I was critically injured before they told me to go. And for 12 years, I wondered, why couldn't I go? Why couldn't I
Mr.
serve my
Harris,
country?
maybe you could change the
And on
name.
March 27, 2023, as I sat in the car at Vanderbilt Children's holding my nephew, I saw and I heard things that nobody should have. And this is the America I would not lay my life down for. And so I am grateful every day that my friend wrecked a golf cart and I could not go into the military because this is just not, this isn't America. This isn't what it should be. And the longer that we prolong it, I mean, just more and more people are gonna die. I've had nothing but level 1 trauma experience all 9 years that I lived here in Nashville, and it's just getting worse and senseless. And, you know, now that my 14-year-old nephew, who's special needs, has been exposed to this, even though he doesn't understand it, it's personal. That involved my baby, and I cannot sit back and be quiet anymore about this because it's not fair. Parents should not have to bury their babies. I just do not understand what people are not getting about this.
There was 3 more shootings yesterday. You know, in addition to the mass shootings, we keep losing people every day. My son Rodney, he's forever 29. He was killed July 9th, 2020 in our backyard, inside our privacy fence in suburbia, outside of my $500,000 home, parked next to my luxury car. So people think it can happen to you, it can happen to any of us. And this young man that killed him, young person that just didn't know how to express his anger, got in an argument, I have access to a weapon. Instead of throwing a rock or hurling insults, let me grab the gun that I was just glamorizing yesterday because it looks nice with my outfit and my shoes. You know, when we give constant access and we keep glorifying these weapons and having a gun culture, our young people we're just not equipping our young people to not kill each other.
Like other young people, I've grown up doing the drills, and some of the older folks might not have experienced that, but there is nothing more scary than sitting there asking, is it real or is it a drill? So I can't even imagine what it was like when it was real for these kids every day, for people all over. And every time I just want to scream into some of these representative spaces. You don't understand what it's like to sit under a desk and cling to your backpack, hoping
insecticide to spray in case we had to fight. This isn't normal. This should not be normal. We should not have more shootings than days in a year. America can do better, and we must. People's lives depend on it. My life depends on it. And so hopefully Speaker Sexton can come, because people are dying because of his lack of action. And so hopefully he can make the short drive here.
I was that teacher for the last 12 years straight. Every day before the kids come in the summer, I walk the classroom and I have to determine what is the best way to keep them safe in case something happens. Do I keep them here? Do I send them out? Can we go out that window? And third week of the school, we have one day where we dedicate to this is what is going to happen and this is how I'm going to go about it. So for the last 12 years, since Columbine, right, since '99, but every year of my life has been dedicated to children in the classroom asking me the question, if someone comes through that door, will you protect us or will you protect your own child who's also in the building, right? And I have to be like, I've got to hope that another teacher's going to do for my son, for my daughter, what I'm doing for you guys right now. And it really, at the end of the day, should not be that way. So the hope for me in this room right now, as Justin said, we ground ourselves in history. The hope for me really is 1868. So all of us out in the Legislative Plaza, there was another gentleman there in 1868 named Samson Keeble. Okay? This is the only statue over in the house when you go over there where you see it, they kind of hide it so nobody can see it.
Right.
He in 1868 was, give me in 1959, 1960, the James Lawsons, the Diane Nashes, the Bernard Lafayettes, they all came together in that spirit. So we are standing on those shoulders right here.
We send them to school to learn. I've been out of school 20 years, graduated in '03. We didn't have those drills. The only drill I had in middle school was tornado. I didn't have to worry about if somebody was gonna come in here and kill us all or kill just a few of us just because